Air travel has entered a new era, and 2026 is the year when airlines finally stopped being lenient with cabin baggage. A carry-on mistake that once resulted in a warning can now lead to immediate rejection at the gate. This video breaks down the Airline Carry-On Rules for 2026. Don't get caught. Your carry-on will be rejected. Because airlines across the world are enforcing rules more aggressively than ever before. Missing these updates can cost money, time, and sometimes even an entire flight. Before getting into the rules, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so important travel updates never get missed again. Rule number 10. Carry-on size is enforced without any human judgment. In 2026, carry-on size rules are no longer flexible or negotiable. Airlines have removed personal judgment from the process by introducing standardized metal sizing cages and automated measurement systems at multiple checkpoints. These devices are calibrated precisely to airline specifications, meaning a bag must fit perfectly without force. If the carry-on requires pushing, tilting, or compressing, it is immediately classified as oversized. Soft-sided bags that expand outward after packing are especially vulnerable. Wheels, handles, external pockets, and reinforced corners are all included in the measurement, leaving no room for interpretation. Once a bag fails the size check, gate agents are instructed to enforce immediate gate checking, often at a higher fee than checking the bag earlier at the counter. Rule number 9. Carry-on weight is a silent deal-breaker in 2026. While many travelers focus only on dimensions, weight has become one of the most common reasons carry-ons are rejected in 2026. Airlines are quietly enforcing weight limits that were previously ignored. Digital scales are now placed near check-in counters and boarding gates, particularly on international and long-haul flights. A carry-on that meets size requirements but exceeds the allowed weight can still be denied cabin access. This policy affects travelers carrying laptops, camera equipment, dense clothing, or multiple electronic devices. Airlines justify strict weight enforcement by citing safety risks associated with overhead bin loading and injuries to cabin crew. Once flagged as overweight, passengers are given no option but to check the bag immediately or remove items on the spot. Rule number 8. Personal item rules are no longer flexible. In 2026, airlines have redefined what qualifies as a personal item, and enforcement has become extremely strict. A personal item must fit fully under the seat in front without extending into legroom or aisle space. Oversized backpacks, overfilled tote bags, and bulky laptop cases are now frequently flagged during boarding. Airlines have trained gate staff to visually identify personal items that exceed size limits before passengers even reach the aircraft door. Attempting to carry multiple bags under the claim of one carry-on and one personal item is now one of the fastest ways to get stopped. If a personal item fails inspection, it is reclassified as a carry-on, which can immediately exceed the allowed cabin baggage count and result in forced gate checking. Rule number 7. Expanding and overstuffed bags are high risk. Expandable carry-on bags have become a major problem in 2026. While expansion zippers offer flexibility during packing, airlines now treat expanded bags as oversized baggage by default. Even if the bag technically fits when empty, an expanded compartment can cause the carry-on to fail sizing tests. Overstuffed bags that appear misshapen or bulging draw immediate attention from gate agents. Airlines are no longer allowing passengers to compress bags by hand to make them fit. Once a bag appears overpacked, it is often measured regardless of claimed dimensions. This rule has led to a sharp increase in last-minute gate rejections, particularly on budget and short-haul carriers where overhead bin space is limited. Rule number 6. Gate agents have zero authority to make exceptions. One of the biggest changes in 2026 is the complete removal of discretionary power from gate agents. In previous years, friendly conversations or polite requests sometimes resulted in exceptions. That era is now over. Airlines have implemented strict compliance policies backed by internal audits and performance tracking. Gate agents are monitored to ensure rules are enforced consistently, and exceptions can result in penalties for staff. Once a carry-on is flagged as non-compliant, the decision is final. No explanation, urgency, or loyalty status changes the outcome. This shift has made it essential for travelers to comply fully before arriving at the airport, as last-minute negotiations no longer exist. Rule number 5. Carry-on electronics are now closely inspected. In 2026, airlines and airport security are paying far closer attention to what is inside carry-on bags, especially electronic items. Large electronics such as laptops, tablets, gaming consoles, drones, and professional camera equipment are increasingly triggering secondary inspections. Carry-ons packed densely with electronics are more likely to be flagged for additional screening, which can delay boarding and sometimes lead to bag rejection if the contents exceed safety or battery regulations. Power banks and spare lithium batteries stored improperly are now one of the most common reasons bags are pulled aside. Airlines are enforcing strict limits on battery capacity and quantity, and any violation can result in items being confiscated or the entire carry-on being denied cabin access. Rule number 4. Liquids and toiletries are a major rejection risk again. Many travelers assumed liquid rules would relax over time, but 2026 has brought renewed enforcement. Carry-on bags containing liquids, gels, aerosols, and creams above permitted limits are now frequently rejected before reaching the aircraft. Even duty-free liquids purchased during transit can cause problems if not sealed properly or accompanied by valid receipts. Toiletry bags that contain multiple borderline-sized containers often fail inspections when combined volume exceeds allowed thresholds. Airlines and security agencies are working more closely than ever, meaning a carry-on cleared by security can still be rejected at the gate if liquids are visible or poorly packed. This rule is catching experienced travelers off guard, especially on connecting international flights. Rule number 3. Carry-on allowances. Vary more by aircraft type. In 2026, aircraft type plays a bigger role in carry-on approval than most passengers realize. Smaller aircraft, regional jets, and short-haul planes have stricter cabin baggage limits due to reduced overhead bin capacity. A carry-on approved on a long-haul aircraft may be rejected on a connecting flight operated by a smaller plane. Airlines are no longer responsible for accommodating bags that technically meet general policy, but do not fit on specific aircraft models. Gate-side announcements requesting voluntary bag checks are often followed by mandatory enforcement. Travelers boarding later groups are especially vulnerable, as overhead space is prioritized for early boarders. Rule number 2. Loyalty status. No longer guarantees carry-on approval. Frequent flyer status used to offer flexibility, but in 2026, loyalty perks no longer override safety and compliance rules. Airlines have standardized enforcement across all passenger categories, including elite members and premium cardholders. A carry-on that violates size, weight, or content regulations will be rejected regardless of status. Airlines are prioritizing consistency to avoid disputes and delays during boarding. This shift has surprised many seasoned travelers who previously relied on loyalty benefits for leniency. The message is clear: rules apply equally, and compliance is mandatory for everyone. Rule number 1. Last-minute gate checks are now the most expensive mistake. The number one carry-on mistake in 2026 is assuming issues can be resolved at the gate. Gate checking fees are now significantly higher than standard checked baggage fees paid earlier in the journey. Airlines use these fees as a deterrent to discourage non-compliant carry-ons and speed up boarding. Once a bag is rejected at the gate, passengers are given no time to repack or redistribute items. The bag is tagged, taken away, and sent to the cargo hold immediately. This process increases the risk of delays, missed connections, and damage. Avoiding last-minute rejection has become one of the most important travel strategies in 2026. Air travel in 2026 is no longer forgiving, and carry-on mistakes are now costing travelers real money and missed flights. The updated Airline Carry-On Rules for 2026. Don't get caught, your carry-on will be rejected, are already being enforced worldwide, and ignoring them is no longer an option. Staying informed before reaching the airport is now the smartest way to avoid stress at the gate. If this breakdown was helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for trusted travel updates, real airline rules, and smarter ways to fly with confidence.